Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Sold. I am your host, Bryan Vogt. Just so you know, what we're talking about today is updating the right things makes you thousands, and updating the wrong things cost you thousands. Well, now we're going to be talking about the kitchens and bathrooms. And again, what improvements that you need to do and what you maybe don't need to do. And one of the things that comes to mind quite often is it could be simple as doing these neutral colors, that's fine. But it's never a bad idea to bring professionals in. I mean, people that you can know, like, and trust, that are going to do a good job, they're going to steer you the right way. It actually makes the whole process much, much easier. Being in real estate, being able to bring in somebody that has that type of not only skill, but understanding of what you're trying to do when you're trying to sell your house can be extremely, extremely important and valuable. And so on the line right now, on the phone, I've got Jeremy Thompson of Integrity Renovation and Construction. He has been doing this forever. He's got 20 years plus of carpentry. I mean, there's not too many things that Jeremy can't do. He has his companies in Colombia. Also on the phone, I have Marla Vogt, and she is no relation, or she is no early relation, meaning we're not cousins, whatever. We might be, 17 removed or whatever. But Marla Vogt also has a company, and that is, well, Marla, why don't you just tell me what it is instead of me trying to read it badly?
It's Above and Beyond Design by Marla.
Right. Columbia, Illinois. They're located in Columbia, Illinois. And Marla, again, I mean, she basically, I got to talk to her yesterday, actually, and we were talking about she's born into this. I mean, her dad was in construction, and she's been doing this probably for close to 2 decades of some level or another as far as design and helping people getting what they need to do, not only in the sale of their home, and both these people work also, but look, if you want to just enjoy your home right now and design your home right now, so that's a great thing too. So they have dual purposes. They can help you when you're looking to move and get your house on the market, but they can also help you that, hey, you're going to be staying here for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so they're great people to know, great people to contact. With that being said, Marla, you had a great story, and we talked about it off the air yesterday, but I think it kind of sums up how important kitchens are, and even we talked about countertops, and if you could maybe relay that story that you told me.
Sure. They really are, and I know with the virtual tours that you put on the computer now, and everybody looks at that first, probably before even going to look at a house to say, hey, if I'm even interested in this. And a lot of times just by the looks and colors have a lot to do with it. And if they see, oh, look at that blue countertop, I don't even want to go look at that house. And so that was what was happening in a home here in Columbia, and it was a beautiful home, very in a very nice subdivision. And at the time, blue countertops were great, fine, maybe the choice then, but it was causing people to not even consider the home. And so I went in and suggested a low-priced granite. Venetian gold. It's a very nice neutral. They didn't want to spend a lot, obviously, because they were sort of frustrated about putting money into the home and not living there and having to do this just to sell the home, and they weren't sure it was the right decision, and so they went ahead and did it, and after one day after the countertops were in and they showed the home, it was sold. And they were ecstatic then, even though he was disappointed in the beginning, thinking, "Oh, I don't want to spend this." It was, say $5,000 to replace the countertops. He was pretty happy at the end, for sure.
Well, and I love that story because it hits on some of the elements that we're talking about today, and that is that, look, updates, you have to make the right updates, and again, look, maybe your house isn't needing that type of upgrade as far as those type of countertops, but it doesn't mean that there doesn't have some need for an update, an upgrade. We don't want to overdo it. We don't have to have granite countertops in a $150,000 home, but when it needs it, it needs it. And it can have that dramatic of effect. And so, yes, you have $5,000, but there's also the cost of having your house on the market. And that could be $2,000. Higher end homes, it could be $3,000 a month, the true cost of interest payments, of taxes, of utilities, of insurance. All those things add up. So I love that story, and I love the fact is that you talked about the neutral. So you still have that understanding of making things neutral, but you can still make things work. And I love that, because that's the kind of professionals that you want to work with. When you call someone in, they have to have a grasp of what is going on, understanding the situation, just as with your realtor should, but you as a seller. And so I love that, Marla, the story that you told there, because it shows not only the expertise that you have, not only the skills that you have, but the understanding of how it can work. Doesn't mean that you put new countertops in that you're going to have that for the day. Okay, we're not guaranteeing that, but you'd be surprised how many times that does happen. So I love that. One other story here, what I have you too, is about coloring. You talked to one about people picking out colors, especially in kitchens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do paint consulting a lot, and one of the tips that I tell people if they're all looking to repaint or do something, and they say, "Oh, I like yellows," and I use that for an example. I don't think people use yellow as much as they were, because grays are so hot right now. But I would say that what I was explaining is yellow. If yellow is something you want to consider, it needs to be on the sample. It needs to look almost just like the color of butter, so lightly, so pale yellow, because when yellow gets on the wall, just a touch of yellow is so vibrant. And so it ends up, if you think, oh, this is a really pretty yellow paint here, it's going to end up looking like a school bus on your wall. And that is a big no-no, and you're going to walk in there, or your buyer is going to go, oh my gosh, I maybe can't even see past these bright yellow awful walls. And as far as the grays, my tip on that is to look for a gray that really is more in the grayish, I say grayish family, beige gray, because grays also pull purple and they pull blue. And so something that you think is a nice gray on that sample can really be pretty shocking, and you can feel like, oh no, I've messed up, and now I've painted this entire room that looks very blue instead of gray. So
sure, no, I love that story too. I tell you, this segment, we're running a little bit, we're running out of time here. We're going to be talking to Jeremy in the next segment. Also, he's got some great tips. We're talking about bathrooms and some other things you can do. But I love that story again that you told, because again, those colors can change, and we have seen that where someone thinks that they have a gray, and now they have an entire blue house, and that's not necessarily the direction that you want to take, especially if it's a little bit darker gray. As you said, it can make it look purple, and now all of a sudden you got to redo everything, and that gives another reason why bringing in a professional like you is so important, to resist having to pay that additional money that you didn't have to pay, getting it done right the first time. With
Absolutely.
that, thanks much. And with that, I'm going to say we will be back after short messages. You're listening to Ready, Set, Sold with Bryan Vogt.